Okay. I think we're holding on Kufches and come up to Boy Ravina. Is that possible from Naftali? It's let's see, 5, 10.
Yeah, yes, that's it.
About 20 lines down. About 20 lines down. In a traditional Gemara, it's about 6 lines up from the wide lines. Okay, we thank Hashem that we're able to learn Torah every day. And in this chus of our learning, we should have the base of Migdash, learning the memory of Zahav Golda Bas Baruch Amen. And also anyone that needs a refuah shlema. Okay, the last thing that we learned, or what we've been discussing in the last pieces here, was that if someone pays kefil, he doesn't have to pay the chaimish. Now, kefil is a payment that someone that steals has to pay double. Okay, chaimish is when someone steals or someone denies that he owes money and he swears, then he has to give an extra fifth. Okay, now if he has to pay double, then what we've been saying is that covers the extra fifth, because double is more than just a fifth. Well, by Ravina has a question. What happens if there's a chaimesh and the kefil with 2 people? The Gemara is going to say, what's the case? Hey Chidami, what's the case? Let's say someone gave his ox to 2 people to watch. They claim that it got stolen when he comes to take it. Both of them say it got stolen. One of them took an oath, and then he himself admits that he lied. What's the halacha then? He has to pay the extra fifth. It would only be double if he got caught. Only if the witnesses come. If he admits, it's only a fifth. Okay. He also has to bring the guilt offering, which he doesn't do if he gets caught. The asham is only when he admits on his own. In the other one, nishbao ba'edim. The other one gets caught. So one of them admits and one of them gets caught. So, what's the halacha? Good morning. Niyam rinan bechad gavra kapad rachmanad le'misham chumsha v'kvela. Do we say that usually you don't pay the fifth plus the kefil? That's one individual that would be paying both. But okay, the Bach adds in. Abel betray Gavri, the Bach adds in. But with 2 people, then Haina Shalom Kvelam, Haina Shalom Chumsha. It is acceptable. One of them for this item is going to pay kefil, one is going to pay a chaimish. The guy's gaining some money here, right? Besides the original that he's getting, the keren that he's getting back. The keren, they're not each going to pay individually. The keren, they'll probably pay together because it was given to both of them. They could pay, each of them, let's say it's worth 100. Each one pays 50 for the keren. The guy that gets caught pays an extra 100. And the guy that admits has to have to pay the chaimish. Is it that one person doesn't pay the kefil plus a chaimish? Or is it one money doesn't get a kefil and a chaimish on it? And here it's the same item, same money. Leaves it as a take, leaves it as a question. Yeah.
Do they allow one that participated in the crime to testify against the other? Like if they both did it together?
Well, it would be one witness against one witness testifying. We can have one witness testifying on money, that's true.
It was my focus whether it was considered like a monetary amount if one person testified
could bring to money.
Yeah, it could lead
the other person
to admit. But that's something that happens all the time in secular law.
Secular law, you have one person. You're saying of like just like over here, 2 people committed a crime. You would ask one to testify against the other. Well, here that's what happened. One of them admitted.
Oh, and admitting it like
implies that the other guy lied, right? Right. I'm not saying anything about him, but I stole it.
Yeah. And the two witnesses are testifying that they were together.
Yeah, but I think what's happening is that the guy that's admitting, let's take a look over here. One that admitted. Yeah. The guy that gets caught, that was after the first guy admitted. The second guy did not admit. So he's only caught. Yeah. So who catches him? Two other witnesses. Probably not this guy. This guy probably can't be involved.
But you see, they compel one person to testify
Right.
against the other. Oh, we'll give you a lesser charge.
Right.
Just we want to get the other guy.
Right. Why in secular court do they try to set people up to get them into trouble and then somehow they make their sentence shorter? No, but they say
easy case. It's guaranteed.
No, but they say, okay, there's a guy who committed a crime. So then they tell him, okay, we want you to go and try to get someone else into trouble, offer him to commit the crime, get him into trouble. If you do that, then we'll give you. Why do they care? Why do they want someone to do an avera?
It's business. That person goes to jail. The jails here are privately owned, so they make money off our tax money. But then our taxpayers support
Really?
all these
That's the
criminals. Yes. And
Okay.
also the prosecutor, like his percentage of conviction goes up, and then he looks good, and then he could claim, look, I have 90% conviction rate. I'm a great attorney.
I don't know. I don't know if that's the whole reason. Okay, whatever the case is, boy, Rav Papa. Rav Papa has a question.
And secular stuff, just follow the money.
Rav Papa has a question. Last question was asked by Ravina. It's interesting. We're going backwards. Ravina is later than Rav Papa. There's two Ravinas, I think. Maybe that was the earlier one. Okay, the next question goes like this. We said that you don't pay kefil and you don't pay a chaimish together. What about twice kefil? What about, this is a question I think people were asking this. Someone was asking it. Yonatan maybe. What about trei chaimish, twice chaimish? So the chaimish we actually had before an answer to, but the kefil is a new sort of scenario. Hey Chidami, what's the case? What's the base? Tigain, he adds in. Let's say the guy says, where's my item? He says, it got lost. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed one important detail. He swears that it got lost, and then he admits that I swore falsely. And he says, I'll bring it tomorrow. And when he brings it, so he's bringing it the next day. They said, what happened? I thought you were going to bring it. He says, yeah, I lost it again. No, it lost it again. Okay. And now he swears about that. And now he admits that I didn't lose it again. This guy only has one claim that he knows how to claim. And he lied about it twice. So Inami, or another option, he's claimed that it got stolen. Now, Vinishba, and he swore, he got caught. Now he has to pay double. So he says he got caught. Okay, so bring it in. So he says, okay, yeah, I'm about to bring it, but you won't believe it. But now this time it really got stolen. So Vinishba, and he swore, and he gets caught. It wasn't true again the second time. What's the din? Mi amrina and Trey Gavne Memaina Ka'ama Rahmanad Lenistalmila Vechad Memaina. That is it that you can't pay a kefel and a chaimesh on one item. That's what we learned before. But here it's twice kefel because he swore. Well, it's yeah, it was a kadden. So he swore twice about that it got stolen, and he lied twice. So it's kefel twice. It's not kefel and an asham.
The first swearing wouldn't get the possession, and the second one wouldn't be invalid.
Very good. Taisa's question. Hill is asking Taisa's question. The first time he swears, he should really be acquiring it. And then when he swears the second time, that's not really relevant. It's already his item. I think Taisa's had another point also, that how could we allow him to swear a second time after he just admitted that he swore falsely? He should be considered chashed ashvuasa. Once someone swears falsely, we don't trust him again to swear. So there's a second. There's a double issue here.
Before we had an example that the guy swore 5 times. So and then that's what they said. Like,
Yeah, how do they swear 5 times on it?
But for each consecutive.
And then that's where.
Okay, I didn't go through this clearly, but I think if he trusts him again to be a shomer, then he would have to make another oath. If the guy himself, and Daniel, I'll check that later. I went too quick. Daniel posted something. Okay, but yeah, I think if he trusts him again, somehow he's able to swear again. I don't have all the details. Maybe in the notes they have. Okay. Or perhaps is it 2 types of payments, kefel and chaimish, or is it 2 payments, 2 penalty payments that we don't do on one money? So Gemara doesn't have an answer yet. So Gemara says, Tashema, come and listen. Rava says, V'chamishi sav. Over here it's written without a yud, but you have to read it as chamishi sav with the comments under the top. The yud makes it more double. It's fifths. It's fifths. Yosef alav. You add on to it. Chamishi sai would mean it's fifth, but it's fifths is chamishi sav. You add on to it. That means that you can pay more than one time a fifth on one principal payment, because if he denies it several times and he swears falsely, every oath is another fifth.
Is it a fifth? It's like we said, a fifth on top of the fifth.
It could be a fifth and a fifth as well if he denies the fifth, but it's also any denial, but it could also be a fifth on the original one as well. He denies it twice. So I thought you said that you still have it. Now bring it back. And he says, yeah, but now it really got lost.
And then going back to these fines.
However, when it comes to swearing and getting caught, that oath needs to be in court. That for kefil. When it comes to a chaimesh, I believe even out of court, any swear that's false, I think even if it's out of court, a fifth. Chaimesh is the fifth that's paid after a false oath. I think it's that. I think even if it's out of court, he has to pay the fifth. I think so. Okay, it's the kefil that the special halacha that that even though he didn't steal, but because he claimed that it got stolen, that needs to be in court. That we learned yesterday or the day before. Okay. Next case. Tavu bailim l'shaymer, v'nishba, v'shilim, v'hukaraganav. The owner comes to the watchman and he says, "Where's my item?" So he says it got stolen. Okay. So he says, "Swear to me." So he swears that it got stolen. Then he says, "You know what? I feel bad about this whole thing. I know I was watching it and I know I'm really exempt, but I'd like to pay for it anyway. I feel bad. I'm going to pay for it." There's no court case. He's already exempt in court. So he does the payment. He pays for the item. How much was it worth? $100. Okay, here's the $100. I'm a good guy. Now it turns out that they actually catch the thief. But there was a real thief here the whole time. We're always thinking it's the guy because that's all the Gemaras before. Turns out there really was a thief. So they find the thief. So kefil me, when they catch the thief, who does he pay the kefil to? Who does he pay the double payment? Who does he pay the double payment to? So we had a Mishnah about this. The only thing is, this case is a little bit different than the classic Mishnah of Hamafkid, the Mishnah and Hamafkid. We'll see it in a moment, so we'll go through it over there. Abaya Amar Labala Pikadan. Abaya says that you have to pay the kefil to the original owner. We have a thief over here. There's the fact that this shomer came in and was a great guy and paid for it. because he didn't want him to lose money. That doesn't change that the kefil goes directly to the original owner. Rava says, no, it goes to the one that had the item in his possession when it was stolen. The kefil goes to him because he paid for it.
Back to the person.
Back to the shamer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Goes to the shamer. Abaya says the kefil goes to the original owner. Goes like this. It says the fact that we had to go to court and we had to administer an oath. We went through the whole court case and you swore and you were exempt. And then you came back, that the fact that you came back and paid doesn't make it that I'm willing to give you the kefil. In other words, I would be willing to let you keep the kefil if we would do this really easy. If you would just pay me right away, then when I gave you the animal originally, I was giving you not only the animal, but any income that you're going to get from this animal, including the kefil. Well, I would be willing to offer that if you wouldn't make a hassle out of this when it comes to returning the item. So Abai is saying that the fact that you did make a hassle, that we had to go to court, we had to do the oath and all of this, you don't get the kefil. The kefil is mine. The animal was mine. The kefil is mine. Rava says, Rava says, no, the fact that the person paid, that's enough for the original owner to agree that when he gave him the animal at the beginning, he was giving it to him, that you should be acquiring it together with the kefil that's going to come later, as long as he's going to pay. It does give him.
So these penalties, they're coming due to the individual, and it's up to him to enforce it?
Well, the penalties are coming from the thief, right? The question is, who owns the rights to those penalties?
Right.
So the Gemara assumed, and the Gemara Namafkid assumes that if the watchman is willing to pay immediately when it gets stolen, even though he's exempt from doing that,
Right.
then the original owner would agree that he should keep the kefil if they ever find the thief.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you pay me up front, you can keep the kefil. That's what the original owner would agree to. Now here,
go ahead.
He paid, but it wasn't up front. He paid only after the whole court case.
So if this process, someone admits to thievery, it's not up to Beis Din to initiate the action. That's what I'm asking. It's up to the owner to initiate action. And if he doesn't, there would be no penalty?
No, I don't think so. I think it is up to the Beis Din. But I think the question is, to whom does it get paid?
Uh-huh.
That's the question. He has to pay it. Now, who's going to keep it? Here we have a watchman that just paid for the item, and you have the original owner, right? There really is a fair question: who should get it? So the Gemara in Hamafkid says it depends. If he paid up front, then he gets it. Then the watchman gets it, and if he doesn't pay, if he swears, then the original owner gets it. Over here, he paid, but it wasn't up front.
But let's say the original owner doesn't initiate action. Can Beis Din go ahead and initiate the action?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like if
Yeah,
he's
this is a penalty. The difference between a penalty and mammon is the main thing of the penalty is that the other guy loses. The main thing of mammon is that the guy gets it. Right?
Yeah.
Restitution versus some are we filling in his loss, or is we just making sure that he doesn't do it again?
Uh-huh. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like if the Bailey's paying the original owner
Get it.
kefil, he shouldn't have to go to court.
Right,
That's so unfortunate.
Right. But over here they did go to court because he didn't want to pay right away. First he wanted, you see, what happened is first he wants to have a good fight. He wants to win. After he wins, he's the good guy also. Now he pays. So that's already a hassle for the owner. For that, maybe the owner would never have agreed that he should get the kefil. We'll see a little bit more. You follow? Keep going. The kamiflagi, and they're arguing. The ka is a participle, makes it ing at the end of the word. Ka miflagi. Miflagi is to argue, and ka miflagi is arguing. They are arguing. Right? It's sometimes it's attached to the word, sometimes it's separated. Ka miflagi b'diyuka de masnisin. In the precision of the Mishnah, and as where to look, where to be medayik, where to deduce from in the Mishnah. Which part of the Mishnah should we be looking at more carefully? That's going to be the machlaikas Abaye and Rava. Titnan started in the Mishnah. This is the famous Mishnah in Amafke, the 3rd chapter of Mitzvah. It's coming up 2-3 months. Amafke Eitzel Chaver Behemai Kelem. Someone gives to his friend to watch an animal or utensils, and they got stolen or they got lost. Okay. Shilim v'lei ratzali shava. If the guy he pays and he doesn't want to swear, the shomer, he said, I don't like swearing. Shari Amru, okay, this is in parentheses sort of. Shari Amru, Shemechinim neshva because Shemechinim could swear. That's not the point over here. The point is that he's paying. He could have sworn, but he's paying. Nimtza Aganav, okay, now because he paid, we find the thief. Mishal Tashlum Kefil, the thief pays double. Tavachamachar, if he slaughtered the animal, it was an animal, and he sold it. Mishal Tashlum Abba Chamishi, he pays 4 or 5. Lemiyo Mishalim, who does he pay to? Misha, because he pays to the shomer. And the explanation is because the shomer was paying right away for the item without giving the owner a hassle. The owner is willing to offer him the kefil should the ganav be caught. Nishba v'lei ratzal l'shalem. Let's say the opposite. Let's say he swore he doesn't want to pay because why? Because he's a shemechinim. He doesn't have to pay. But then they find the thief. The thief pays double. If he slaughtered it or sold it, he pays 4 or 5 times. Who does he pay it to? L'bala pikadon, to the original owner, because this guy gave him a hard time. He never, right? He just got exempted himself, so the kefil goes to the original owner. Abaye medayik mireisha, Rava medayik miseifa. Now there were 2 cases here. Case number 1 was where he paid, he didn't want to swear. Case number 2 is he swore, he didn't want to pay. Abaye says, let's take a look at case number 1. Rava says, let's take a look at case number 2. Abaye daik mireisha. Abaye looks at the beginning. He pays, he doesn't want to swear. Time delay ratzali shava. What's the reason why he gets the kefil? Because he doesn't want to swear. Nishba, but let's say he did swear. We're on top of Testament Beit. It's Alpha Pisha Shilim, even though he paid. Lami Mishalim. So who does the payment, the kefil go to? Babala Pikadon will go to the original owner. The fact that he swore. Notice the emphasis of the ratio was if he didn't swear. The emphasis is not that he paid. The emphasis he didn't swear. He paid and he didn't swear. Don't look at the paid part. Look at he didn't swear. Over here he did swear. He doesn't get the kefil.
So this is talking about the
Yes. Where do we put the emphasis? Don't put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. Rava daik miseifa. Rava looks at the end case. It says nishba v'lei ratzal l'shalim. If he swore and he doesn't want to pay, then we're going to look at that he didn't pay. That's what Rava's going to look at. Time with l'ratzal l'shalim. What's the reason why he doesn't get the kefil? Because he didn't pay for it. Shilim, but let's say he did pay for it. Afal pish nishba, even though he swore. I mean, mishalim nisha, because let's say he would pay to the one that had the item in his possession at the time of the theft. Yeah. So Rava says the fact that he paid would make him get the kefil. The Gemara asks, L'Abaya kasha seifa. 1 second. Now this is also a kasha on each one. On Abaya, we're going to have a question in the end, what Rava was emphasizing, and Rava is going to have a question what Abaya was emphasizing. So Amalach Abaya says to you, you have to read it like this. Nishba v'lei ratzal l'shalim kaidem hashvua. If he swore and he didn't want, you see, when the nishba, if he swore and he didn't want to pay, that looks like, but if he did pay, then he should get the kefil. Abaya doesn't hold that. Abaya holds once you swear, you don't get the kefil. So Abaya would say, he would read it like this. He says, if he swore and he didn't pay before the oath, but after the oath, but if he paid after the oath, then that doesn't help him get the kefil. It goes to the original owner. So Rava's emphasis was he swore and he didn't want to pay. But if he did pay, Rava's emphasis was, but if he did pay, then he keeps the kefil. Abaya would look at it as he swore and he didn't pay before the swearing. Then he gets the kefil. But if he paid after, then he doesn't get it. He swore, but he didn't pay before. Then he swore and he didn't pay before, but rather he paid after. That's you have to read the whole thing together. Swore he didn't pay before, but he paid after. So then who gets the kefil? He's dropping the deal.
And if he pays with it, does he still swear? He volunteers to pay. Is there still swearing?
No.
No.
Oh,
Okay.
there's another oath actually that he has to make, but that's not for the Geneva. He doesn't swear for the Geneva. He only swears that he doesn't have it in his possession.
So that's why someone would subject himself to the humiliation of of paying double, even if he knows he didn't do it because he doesn't want to take an oath.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Well, he's not paying double, this guy.
He's paying double, but people.
Hashem is only paying once. The question is if he receives the double when we catch the real thief.
But I'm saying this is the way he avoids having to take an oath.
Right.
Very important oath.
When he takes an oath, that's insinuating he's giving the owner a hard time. That's going to be based in everything. He wouldn't swear outside.
Right.
In that case, he would get the double payment because he paid up the home.
Yeah, but that's only if he paid before the oath. If he pays after the oath, then Abaya says he doesn't get it, and Rava says he does get it. Right? Did I say that correctly?
The owner incurred probably like court fees.
Right. Okay, now Rava Kashareshi, Rava has a question what Abaya was emphasizing. Amalach Rava, Abaya was emphasizing if he pays and he doesn't want to take an oath, Rava says that means he doesn't want to take an oath. But no, Rava was emphasizing that if he takes an oath and doesn't want to pay, that was Rava emphasizing. Abaya was emphasizing he pays and he doesn't want to take an oath. But if he does take an oath, then he loses it. So, and according to Rava, if he pays, even if he took oath, he doesn't lose it. So, how does Rava explain that? If he pays and he doesn't want to stand by his oath, even though he took an oath, but he's willing to pay and not stand by his oath, allow himself to be exempt because of his oath. Then who gets the kefil? Misha, because necessarily the one that was the watchman. So if he's willing not to stand by his oath, he's going to get the kefil. Okay, that's a machlekes Abaya and Rava. Tavu bailam l'shaymer b'nishba b'hukar agana. Let's say the owners come to the watchman and they say, this is really like Bab Metzia Gemara. The owners come to the watchman and they say, where's the item? So he swears that it got stolen. And they catch, and he recognizes, he knows who the thief is. Tavu Shaimer. The watchman goes to the thief, and the thief admits. Okay, what would happen now for the thief for admitting? Does he have to pay? He's a regular thief, so he pays double automatically. Pays double. Doesn't matter admitting. Pays double. Tavu l'bailam, the keeper. Right. He pays double. Oh, but the problem is over here he admitted without having to bring witnesses. If he admits without bringing witnesses, then he's exempt from the double payment. So he's exempt from the double payment because he admitted. Tavul bailam the keeper, but the owner shows up, and the owner says, "Oh, I heard that you're the thief," and the guy says, "No, I'm not." He denies it. They view him and has to bring witnesses to prove it. Now he has to pay double. So me niftar aganav by das shaimer. I lie. Do we say that the fact that he admitted to the watchman, that's considered like he admitted to the owner? and he's exempt? Or do we say that no, to the real owner, he denied it and he has to pay kefil? It's going to be complicated. The owner is going to tell the shomer, why did you mix in? You messed up. I could have gotten kefil here.
100%.
You see, the shomer doesn't get the kefil because the shomer just took an oath that he's exempt. So the shomer is continuing to do this and he's actually messing things up. Or do we say that no, the fact that he admitted to the shomer is not the owner anyway. He doesn't even have a claim against him. He's already exempt. He's out of the picture. The real person that has a claim against him that he has to admit or deny was the original owner, and the owner's here. Okay, so Amar Rava. Rava says, "Im be'emes nishba," if the shomer swore in truth that it was actually stolen, and turns out it was stolen, so then if we would find the animal, and the owner would want the watchman to continue watching it, he swore correctly, he would still be the shomer because he's not a liar, he's a good guy. Nifter aganav by the shomer, then we would assume that the shomer is still an active shomer. It's just that the animal was missing because the guy took it, but the shomer would still be the shomer for him. So we considered him as part of the equation. And when he asked the guy for the animal, he was actually acting as a shomer that's asking for the animal. So as the shomer, when the guy admitted, he was actually admitting to someone that has a claim on him. I'm the shomer, where's the animal? In b'sheka, but if the shomer didn't say that it got stolen, he said that it was an armed robbery, it was he makes up some story, some other story. And turns out we find out that it was just stolen. Okay, let's say he said that it died. I'm sorry, it fell off the cliff, it died. And turns out we find that it was stolen. He lied about it. So then when he goes to the thief, he tries to get it back, he wasn't the shomer anyway, because the owner wouldn't have left the animal by him after he lied. Okay, this is the pshat that Rashi accepts. Rashi brings another pshat that he rejects, and that is, he says exactly the opposite. If he swore falsely, then he's still involved in the case because he's not really exempt because he lied. So he still needs to exempt himself by some other way. So when he shows up at the shomer's house, he shows up at the ganav's house, he's trying to exempt himself another way because he's still involved in the case. It's exactly the opposite. So then the admitting of the ganav to him would be a real admitting because he's still involved in the case. But if he swore truthfully, then he's already out of the case. Exactly the opposite. Right? Rashi rejects that pshat because of what the Gemara is about to say. Yeah, boy, Rava has it was, whose question was this? Was this Rava's question? No, this was just a statement of Rava. Now Rava has a question. Let's say he's about to swear, but they say, no, we don't want you to swear. Don't swear, don't swear. The owners tell him the owners themselves say that we don't want you to swear. So what's going to be the din then? Do we say that the fact that he didn't swear, he's still trusted by the owners because he didn't swear, so he would still be the shomer? Or do we say the fact that he was about to lie, the owners would have gotten rid of him if the animal would resurface, so he was about to lie, and he's not the shomer? Now, all of this is all a question. When the thief admitted to him, is it considered the thief had admitted to someone that had a claim against him, or the thief just admitted to no one? Okay. That's a takeover. Rav Kana Masni Hachi. The way that we posed the question was the way that Rav Kana asked the question. Rav Tevyumi Masni Hachi. Rav Tevyumi has the question slightly different. For him, the question went like this: Boy Rava Nishbala Sheker Mahu. If he actually swore falsely, what's the din? And the Gemara on that said Teku. Okay. Do we say that he's trying to maybe the two cases over here, maybe we would learn the question like this. Do we say the fact that he's swore falsely, the owners would have him out of being a shomer, so he's not involved anymore? Or do we say that the fact that he swore falsely would mean that he's still involved in the case and he needs to rectify what he did, so he's trying to find the thief, and so therefore when the thief admits to him, that was considered a real admitting because it's admitting to someone that's involved in the case.
Seems like we drifted from the part of whether witnesses came and testified against this thief, and it just matters like who he admitted to.
Right.
But if he admits to either one after witnesses came,
No, the witnesses didn't come. If he admits to one of them first before the witnesses, right? Yeah, this would only work. We had a Gemara before about Maida Iknas Vachikach Ba'oedim. There was a machlekes about this. If someone admits and witnesses come later, we would be following the view that if he admits and witnesses come later, he's still exempt, right? That's otherwise this whole question doesn't apply. Okay, Tavu Bailam L'Shemer B'Shilim V'Ukar Ganav. The owner asked the watchman, "Where's my animal?" And the watchman was willing to pay. V'Ukar Ganav. And I think the case over here is that the thief, the watchman knows who the ganav is. Tavu Bailam. Yeah, we know that Tavu Bailam. So now the owner goes to the ganav and says, "You're the ganav. Give me the animal back." He says, "You're right. I'll give it back to him." Tavu Shaimer. The shomer goes to him. Now the shomer, you have to realize over here, the watchman had already paid for it. So the shomer is now the new owner. What's the rule? If there's if he pays for it, he keeps the kefil. The kafar, the shomer went to the ganav and the guy denied it. Perfect setup. Now he has to pay kefil and he gives it to the only thing is, he says, "But I already admitted to the original owner." And admitting means that I'm exempt from the kefil. The heavy Adim, and he brings witnesses that he stole it. So the shomer brings witnesses. So nifter aganav baidas bailam elai. It's exactly the opposite case from before. Do we say the fact that he admitted to the original owner exempts him, or do we say the original owner isn't part of this? Couldn't we? Do we say that the shomer can tell to the owners, "Atun, given that the shaklisu dami, the shaklis l'chodami is talik l'chomihacha. You already took your money. What are you doing here? You're not involved in this case. I'm the one that gets the kefil. I'm the one that's looking for it. I paid you. You have no business here." He admitted to you. I don't know who you are. Do we say matzi amalei? We say no. Say the owners can tell to the shomer. They say kihechi dat abdeslan milsa. Look, you're a really nice guy. You paid instead of swearing. We owe you a favor. You did a favor for us, and we're going to do a favor for you. We were trying to help you out. You paid even though you didn't have to.
Right.
We were trying to get the animal back so we can give you your money back. So we're still involved. The fact that the ganav now admits to the original owner is admitting to someone that's still involved in the case, and that's considered real admitting, which would exempt them from the case. Oh, Teiku, leave this as a question.
There's a real difference if the ganav admits to the shomer.
Yeah. Okay.
Question. All these things that stolen, even though it's still mostly ashore, this is very black and white, even though there's machlokas. You know. But I mean, in reality, cases are clouded by emotions. Oh, this is a family heirloom. Oh, I'm attached to it. Oh, I don't want to sell it. Gemara doesn't seem to ever bring that up, and I would think that might make a difference in who really should be able to get it back. Oh, excuse me, I paid your rate, so you have to. Or why they say, this was passed down for 4 generations. This is the family cow. We have subsisted on it. We really want our cow. They never mentioned.
Right.
How that went civil.
Right. I don't think civil law also has.
Just because civil law doesn't have, but I'm saying it is real
Right.
human being emotions. And
Right.
I would have thought the Gemara would have at least mentioned it and brought it up as a question. Yes, the Gemara doesn't care about my emotions.
It only goes by the market.
Like if someone steals my sitter, it's like I've had that sitter for 10 years.
10
Beaten up and
generations.
everything. No, I'll give replace it. No.
That's my question.
Yeah.
Why doesn't that get? Oh,
Someone was telling me that he had a Shulchan Aruch, and it was in Lakewood. The rule in the yeshiva is
which Shulchan Aruch? Like,
it was the big Shulchan Aruch. He was learning Shulchan Aruch. A Gemara, we'll switch it. Okay, he had a sefer, and he had his notes in it. He had his name. It was learning it for a year. Anyway, the rule over there is that if you leave it there, because there's thousands of people, if you leave the sefer there, you don't take it. They give you like 3 weeks. It's piled up somewhere. Take it. If you don't take it now, it goes into like some sale where they do like cheap svarim and they just sell it off. Anyway, he lost it. He shows up the next Zman. He went away or whatever. He wasn't there. Shows up the next man, and he sees a guy with his Shulchan Aruch. The guy had bought it from the sale for $2, because there's thousands of things that people do. He says, I want it. I'll actually buy you a new one. And I want mine with the notes. The guy said, no. No, that's the din. The din. This is the din. It's a little bit of a problem because there is something in the Gemara that says, why was the Beis Hamikdash destroyed? She'amidu devrayim al din Torah, that people only followed the law. They didn't do lifnim asher sadin. You're supposed to do lifnim asher sadin. If there's an item that gets washed up by the sea or something, and it has the name in it, the person's name, even though you're allowed to keep it, because the person for sure gave up hope because it was the sea or it. But if it has the name in it, you know whose it is. It's no shaila. You're supposed to give it back anyway, even though min adin you don't have to. But it says on it, Okay.
It would be nice if we go active. It's just like the difference between being a Shabbos Yid and an Erev Shabbos Yid. There's a big difference in when do you start preparing for Shabbos.
Yeah. Okay, Itmar was stated like this: Nignava ba'inus v'hukar aganim. It was stolen with not a regular thief. This was a listim mezuyim, let's say. It was an armed robbery. It goes on, an armed robbery, and we catch him. And the shomer is the one that's able to get it back. There's an interesting case. So the question now is: Amar Abaye, im shomer chinamu ratza oisi imay din ratza nishpa. The shomer chinam has an option. The shomer chinam can get out of it by swearing, but he knows where the item is because it was an armed robbery. He knows who has it. If he wants, he can actually pay for it and then go to the effort to get it back, or he can swear and exempt himself. That's the obligation of a shomer chinam. He doesn't have so much of an obligation that he has to go and fight for it to get it back. Im shomer sacharu, but if he's a shomer sachar, Abaya says, he has to go. He has to pay for it. He has to go get the item back from the thief because he knows who the thief is and he can get it back. So he pays for the item and he goes and works it out with the thief because he has a higher level of responsibility. The shomer sachar. Rabba says, Rabba says even the shomer chinam, the fact that he knows who has it, obligates him to go and get it back. You can't just swear and say, okay, I'm out of here. An accident happened, I'm not taking care of it. I watched it while I needed to, and now I can't do that. Okay, Lema pligad Rav Huna bar Rav. Let's say that Rabba is arguing on Rav Huna bar Rav. Shalach Rav Huna bar Rav and Rav Huna bar Rav sent. Nignava ba'inus v'ukar aganav. That if it got stolen with an inus, an unpreventable circumstance, which means that it was an unarmed robbery. We catch the thief. Exactly like Abaya says, if he wants, if he's a Shem Chinam, he's allowed to swear and get out of it. If he wants, he can pay for it and work it out with the thief, with the robber. If he's a Shem Sacher, no, he has to go and make every attempt to get it back, and that's his obligation. Which is the way the Abaya said, which is not the way Rava said, and Rava seems to be arguing on Rav Huna bar Ravin. Yes, Rav Huna bar Ravin was much earlier. Amalach Rava says, over here we're talking about where the person had already sworn. That's why he's able to say that, by the Shem Chinam at least, he's able to say that, okay, I'm out. He already swore. It says, it says that he didn't swear. It says if he wants to, he can. Rava says, but it means is he can stand by his oath once he swore, or if he wants, he can go and pay and try to get it back from the original, from the thief. Rava Zuti Boy Lahachi. Rabba Zuti, Rabba the young, or Rabba the small. Rabba means great. So great small. He asked the question like this. Let's say it got stolen through an armed robbery, and the Ganav puts it back into the Shemer's house and into the watchman's house, and then with negligence it died.
Oh.
So Miyamrina, do we say look at what happened over here? It was an armed robbery, the guy's exempt. It's not his obligation anymore. His shmira is over. Or do we say or do we say that no, it was only an interruption of the shmira, but when it came back, the shmira immediately returned, and now he becomes the regular din of a shomer, of a watchman, and any negligence is going to make him obligated. See, if he's not a shomer, then it doesn't have to be. Then negligence doesn't make him obligated. You're not allowed to damage someone's item, but negligence doesn't mean, look, if I walk out of here and you're leaving your things over there, I walk out. So if I would be a shomer, that would be negligence. I left it there. But if I'm not a shomer, I'm not a shomer. I walked out. It's negligence, but I shouldn't be chayav. If I broke it, I'm chayav. But just negligence, I shouldn't be. So here, when it came back into his possession, do we say that he's a shomer? And now he's chayav because he was a shomer before, or do we say that no? Once it got stolen with an armed robbery, he's not a shomer anymore. When it came back, I wasn't a shomer. That job that I had was done. It ended already. So the Gemara leaves it with teiku. We leave it as a question.
Just drops in his place again.
Yeah.
He says,
This is maybe I'm not a shomer.
Rule is whenever there's a teiku, we always go by the strict opinion.
Well, normally we would be strict. Over here, the question is what does it mean to be strict? It doesn't mean we make him pay. It doesn't mean we strict that. Who will be strict that? It's hard when it comes to monetary law to be strict because it goes two ways. But what does it say in the halacha in the Quran? They quote the halacha. Yeah, they quote the halacha. If an animal given as a deposit was stolen in circumstances beyond the bailie's control and the thief returned it to the bailie's house, where it subsequently died through the bailie's negligence, it is uncertain whether the bailie's guardianship has been terminated. Therefore, the court does not force payment by the bailie. If the owner seizes payment from the bailie, the court does not intervene to restore it to the bailie. This is the halacha concerning unresolved dilemmas with regard to monetary matters. Yeah, basically, if the guy confiscates, then we leave it there. Okay.